Hello and welcome to the Lily and the Laundry. Today I'm going to be talking about something that was shared in our Sunday school class. I want to say maybe a couple weeks ago, but I took some notes on it and I wanted to hop on here and chat with y'all about it because it's just something that stuck out of me and I wanted to share it. So here we go. All right, so for us, our Sunday school is broken up into we have like a married couples group, and that's where me and my husband are at, and we have Brother Gary who teaches the adult Sunday school for just married couples. That's pretty much all who are in there. And he was talking about out of Romans 12:2, and I'll actually go ahead and get that scripture up, and I will try and if not post it on the screen, post it down below, and I will try and read it to y'all while I talk about some other stuff. But he talked about renewing your mind. It says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing." Okay, so he talked about to restore to a state of new by renewing your mind. You need to get your mindset on God and the things of the world. One of the worst things you can do is remove yourself from God's people. And I think with everything that happened the past year in 2020, it was so easy for us to be removed from God's people. We kind of stepped back and kept our distance, which ultimately affected us as Christians and as a whole being together. So honestly, y'all, that's one of the worst things you can do is separate yourself from God's people when you're trying to get a new state of mind, when you're trying to renew the mind, okay? So I will say this, during that whole year, we didn't necessarily stay away. Because that was just not us. Our church is our family. And I tell people all the time, they're more family than my family. And I know a lot of people don't understand that, and people may be like, oh, well, that's really harsh. It's really not, y'all. We are with our church family all the time. And if we're not with them as a whole, on Wednesdays and Sundays, we're with them throughout the week with other people. And so that was crucial for us. And even when it first began and we kind of took a step back, all of us did, it was hard for us because we were doing stuff every time we turned around. We were staying busy. Sundays, there was like no rest on Sundays for us. But then when everything happened, it was like, stop, like complete silence. We weren't doing anything. The ministries had stopped. It was like done. Like we didn't know what to do. In all honesty, it was crazy. But you can tell that it's hard when you're separated for so long, and then you get sidetracked and you start to backslide a little bit, because in 2020 it was hard. I mean, let's be honest, it was hard for everybody, but we have to remember that even now we cannot remove ourselves from God's people. They're there to help us. They're there to support us. So we talked about that, the renewing of the mind, and I mentioned that one of the worst things we can do is to separate ourselves from God's people. Okay, so we separate ourselves from God's people. We are literally one sinful choice away from destruction. It's that simple. And you would think, oh no, that's not me. Honey, don't say that, because I'm gonna tell you, don't say that, because you don't ever know. You are always one sinful choice away from destruction. You can say, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be that way. I'm not going to turn out like them. I'm not going to do what she did. Honey, don't say that, because you don't know. You don't know. I'm just trying to be honest with y'all. I'm trying to be real because you don't know. By God's grace, I want to always serve Him. I don't want to get out in sin, and I don't want to do that. But by God's grace, and there are things to keep that from happening. Okay. Is your mind closed to God and open to Satan? Think about that. So is your mind closed to God, or is it open to Satan? I mean, those are some things you have to think about.